Let's look at manipulating 2 or 3 or 4 or any number of measurements, paying attention to the number of significant digits, and this process involves, in this case, adding and subtracting numbers. How to do it and why to do it that way. The general rule, as you may have heard, for all of these manipulations is that the weakest measurement determines how many significant digits you have. You cannot get more accurate than the least accurate of your measurements, or you are lying. Generally, we do try to use the same measuring device for multiple measurements. That way the accuracy and precision is consistent for every measurement because you're using the same device with your same eyes. Now that's sometimes not possible, so pay attention. We'll go through one first that uses the same measuring device and then one that uses 2 different measuring devices. So this is a portion of a meter stick that was useful for measuring lengths between 10 and 100 centimeters. This is not the whole meter stick. Suppose we have 2 items and we want to know the total length of the 2. Say we need to fit them into a box. And the box, we don't have the box, so we have to do the measurement. We do know how long the box is. We can't just put them in the box and see if they fit. So we measure each, and then we add the 2 measures using the same measuring device, the same meter stick. And then we can compare that against the length of the box, which is probably published somewhere. So here are 2 lengths. We measured one at 20.52 centimeters and the other at 8.36 centimeters. We simply line them up by the decimal point and we add them. And there we go. 20.52 plus 8.36 is 28.88 centimeters. Very straightforward. If you were subtracting, you would just put the numbers in your calculator using the subtract key. Now, both measurements have the same accuracy, so there's no problem here whatsoever. Now, suppose a colleague in another city made one of the measurements on, he has his piece, you have yours, and he made one of the measurements with a less accurate measuring device, giving 1 sig dig after the decimal point. You want to know the sum of the 2 items' lengths, of course. What do? Well, there are your 2 numbers, 20.52 and 8.4. I simply rounded off the prior measurement. The last digit in any measurements, the last one on the right, is the uncertain digit. That is, it's an estimate, so we're not entirely certain of that last digit. So we wrote, or he wrote, 8.4 centimeters, but hey, is it closer to 8.4, 8.3, 8.4, 8.5? That is not certain. And of course, even less, what comes after that. It could have been 8.36, which would round to 8.4. It could be 8.42. So I have no idea. So that's why I put a question mark in the last place here. So we add them, and then we will truncate to make sure that we're not lying. So there we go. There is the addition, and you notice I didn't put anything in that 4th position. The position right before the letters CM is empty because if that 0.4 is not certain, then we're not really certain about the 0.9. Yeah, we're okay with the 20.52. We're okay with 20.5. The 2 there is uncertain, but we have no idea what that, in that 100th place in the number, we have no idea what that is in the 2nd measurement. So we have to do it this way. All right, so the general rules when adding or subtracting 2 measurements, make certain the units you're using are the same, say in this case all centimeters, If you had measured in meters, you had to make sure that both of the measurements were in meters. You have to write down the numbers with all the digits that you're provided, and you line up by the decimal point. Then you add and subtract, use all the numbers, but you truncate using the weakest measurement as the guide, as we just did.